Hello, everybody. Welcome. Starting it off doing it. Sorry about that. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Catfish Weekly 43. Tonight we're going to be talking about boats, what's out there right now, what we'd like to see. I even did a crude drawing. Looks like a 3-year-old did, but it's what I'd like to see in a boat. You know, sort of my own, what I'd want if I ever designed one. But I mean, I've got a list of boats. I contacted a lot of dealerships and stuff. I got some prices. I got links up, or I got some pages up. So we'll probably switch over to my view, and we'll look at some of the boats, and we'll talk about some. I'll talk about some of the features that they have, a little bit like that. Um, but I do want to start off with the Gone Fishing Adventures entrance that we have right now. I'm going to go through, I'm going to list off. Oh, by the way, everybody, myself and Lyle Stokes, Chris Wallace, aka Fudd, Lyle Stokes is here. Chuck Davidson will be here. He's just running a little bit behind. So thanks everybody for joining us. But back to the Gone Fishing Adventures entrance. We have 26 people right now entered in for the Gone Fishing Adventures full guided trip, and I'm going to name off names here of everybody that's on here. So if you don't hear your name called, that means you need to get over there and do what needs to be done to get into the contest, and I'll tell you how to do that again right after this. But we got Leon Higdon, Mike Kafer, Heath Malone, Seth McAllister, Dennis Mayo, John Harden, Janet Fox, Teresa and Dave, Kevin Owens, Chad Wall, Steve Einbody, Vince Nadowski, Nick Goodall, Major Brown, Jason Malone, Ricky Allen, Larry King Jr., Cheryl Lynn Butler, Matthew Ryan Evans, Bill Wright, Joshua DeBoard, Jason Fish, Chris Workman, Michael Johnson, Bobberstop LLC, Christopher Parker. So that's who we have right now that's eligible to win this. And I know two of them at least. I believe Jason Malone and John Harden are our super fan members right now, so they both have double the chances. They get two entries into that. So how you guys need to join that is go over to the Facebook page, Gone Fishing Adventures. Like that page. Look on the page for the picture with him on it in Catfish Weekly. There should be a bunch of posts under it, and all you got to do is like that picture, post underneath it, and say something about the fish or whatever, but mention Catfish Weekly in the comment. You do that, and you're entered in. We'll put you in on this list, and then we'll add. We'll basically do a drawing at the end of this month, and we'll give that away. If you want to become a super fan, it's only $10, and you can on our forums or getting a hold of me or Lyle or Chuck on Facebook. We'll give you directions on what you need to do to get that. There's a lot of features and bonuses for becoming a super fan. You get a discount on Whiskerware apparel, discount on Black Horse custom rods, special access to a Facebook group with us. Double entries on all of our contests for a year. So it's definitely worth $10, and it just helps us pay for our server fees, things like that, help us keep going, doing what we're doing here. So definitely look that up, get hooked up on the super fan package, and get registered for that contest. Not to mention that if you've been following us on Facebook, you've seen Lyle and myself, and I don't know if Chuck said anything yet, but we got something big coming for you guys. We've been putting this together, and we got something that we're still kind of working on it. We're trying to make it even better and bigger, and it's already big. So ain't that right, Lyle?
That is correct.
So you guys are definitely going to want to be staying tuned and keeping an ear and an eye out for it. It's going to be awesome. I can tell you that.
We talked about it 30, 45 minutes today, just you and I.
Yep.
And you've been working on it. I've been working on it. We got 2 or 3 people other than ourselves involved with it now, and a whole bunch of other people that we're dealing with. So this is going to be a good deal.
I definitely think it's going to be pretty awesome. We had Chuck in here for a minute, but I don't know if he's having the same technical problems we were having a little bit ago or not. But um, I guess I can go ahead and get started. If you've got anything about the boats and stuff that you want to touch on before I get going in this, you can, Lyle.
Well, there's a few things that I've jotted down that if I was to buy a new boat today, that it would have to have. And some of this a lot of people's not going to agree with, and some of it they are going to agree with it. One of After having boats for years and years and years, one of the first things that a boat would have to have for me to be interested in it, it'd have to have a V front. No more flat bottoms, beating you to death in rough water. I'm on rough water a lot with the big rivers that we fish and the big lakes and stuff, and V front is I won't own anything that doesn't have one. It'd have to be the widest possible legal thing that you could pull down the road at the rear, and the biggest amount of horsepower that is feasible on whatever size boat that would be. And to me, I really don't believe I need anything over 20 or 22 foot. If it would be 24, that would be fine. But whatever the maximum horsepower that you could put on that boat without being in problems, getting yourself in trouble, that's what I would want. It would have to have a minimum of an 80-gallon live well. Now, with that being said, fellas, it doesn't, just because you have an 80 or 100 or 120, and like Andrew Little's boat's got a 150-gallon live well, just because it's that big, you don't have to fill it all the way up with water. So don't let the amount of water that a live well holds scare you. You think that it adds that much weight, because by the time you put the fish in it and the weight of the fish, nobody that I know of ever raises them all the way to the top anyhow. Another thing I would want on my boat is at least 30-inch sides, just for the safety factor, because I've got grandkids, and it's just easier to deal with things. I would want another full enclosure. I probably never have another boat that didn't have a full enclosure. And one of the number one thing is I would want, without a shadow of a doubt, the most comfortable seats that money could buy. If they cost as much as the boat or the motor, so be it. You spend so much time in a boat, whether you're drifting or whether you're anchored, whether you're fishing daytime, whether you're fishing nighttime. The seats we have now are fully adjustable. They slide back and forth. They got headrests. They got adjustable armrests. The biggest, baddest, most comfortable seats that you can get when you're in an 8-hour tournament, or even the 12-hour night tournaments, you spend so much time in that seat that you want to be as comfortable as you could possibly get. Other than that, if it had hookups for, I prefer Humminbird Electronics. If they had factory equipped hookups for electronics, that would be very nice. But everything else is pretty much you can deal with. I know Vince had made a post on here, 100-gallon live well. That's all fine and good. But I have put over 120 pounds of fish in a lot less than that safely and never lost one. I think the minimum should be 80. Bigger is always better if you have room in the boat. And the live well should come with an aeration system in it, with in and out pumps where it changes the water out on timers. That should be, if you're going to go for the gusto and get everything you need, all that should be included in it when you buy it. And they can build these boats for a reasonable amount of money. They really can. They don't have to make their yearly profit off of every sale. They can spread it out and make it off of 3 or 4 boats, But them are the things that would be extremely important to me. And no, Chris, we're not having no Chicago Cubs emblems on them. Sorry for that, but it's not going to happen. But he's just falling up right where his dad left off. But that's the things I'd be looking for. That's the things that would be important to me. And like I say, 22 foot would be the perfect size. Big live well, big motor. Just because you got a big motor, you don't have to use it all. And if you're not using it all, it'll get better gas mileage yet. So that's something important. But those seats to me would be something that I would really want for the most comfortable seats I could get, just because you spend so much time in them, and that's something that I'd have to have.
Well, since you started off with that, I guess I'll lead off and I'll see if I can do this right. I'm gonna take a screenshot of it and capture it. And let's see here, get to where I can see.
Welcome, Chuck.
Yeah, how you doing, Chuck?
Good, good.
All right, now I don't know how that works, but let's see. Okay, I don't know if people are going to be able to see that or not, but if everybody looks on here, my sort of crude, rough design, sort of like Lyle, I want a 22-foot boat. I feel 22 foot's about perfect. I want a full windshield. If you see, like right here in the middle, this circular thing is what I would want to be a front bait well, about a 25 gallon bait well that was circular, that I could put shad in, that I could put bluegill in, keep them alive, built into that front deck with a step up to where I could step on it. The lid and everything would be, built in. It might be a little bit higher than the deck, but there would be two storage compartments on the side, one in the front for anchor, if I could fit that in there right there. Both sides of the boat. Also, if you notice, I would put my steering wheel and my whole front thing further up in the boat, not back near the motor, not midway, actually up near the front. And then I would have rod locker storage on both sides. With 22 foot, that shouldn't be a problem at all. For both sides of the boat, I should be able to put at least 4 rods in each side. On the back, you'll see actually up more towards the middle of the boat, that's where I'd have a 100-gallon live well. Now, that 100-gallon live well being further up towards the middle, I think would help, get the boat up on plane faster. I think it would help with fuel mileage and things like that, not being so far near the back of the boat. I've heard that the more weight you have at the back of the boat, the worse your gas mileage is. Directly behind it, I would have a smaller live well if I could fit it in there, about 40 gallon. And this would be for if I don't want to fill up even a partial of that a gigantic 100-gallon live well. If I'm in a channel cat tournament on a lake or whatever, I can just use my 40-gallon live well, and also save on fuel mileage as well. Then, of course, storage on both sides. Each one of the stars is basically a seat base, so you could put your seat anywhere you wanted to on one of the stars. 200 horsepower motor. About a 30 to 40 gallon fuel cell in it. But for me, I think if I were building a boat, that's about what I would do with it. I mean, I don't know if it's all technically feasible or not. I mean, of course, you have to look at things like the Coast Guard regulations, things like that. I don't know if you could do it or not, but that's what I would do.
Well, that full windshield, that's just a given with me. I just, I won't have another boat of any kind that does not have a full windshield. And just to keep the wind off of you is one thing. It also helps keep the spray going off of you. But for the safety factor, as you're going down, especially the Illinois River, but any of the rivers now that are linked into the Mississippi River chain, it knocks the crap out of the amount of Asian carp that hits you going down the river when you're at speed. So that's just, to me, to buy a new boat without a windshield just be ridiculous.
Yeah. How you doing, Chuck?
Good, good. How y'all doing?
All right. We were just talking about how what we would want in our if we were making our own personal boat and stuff. So, if you want to go ahead and fill everybody in what you would want, what you'd like to see in a boat.
Um, I would want a 2072, um, with the forward full windshield. Um, the perfect boat for me would probably um, be the new um, Sportsman 200 by G3. That's about the boat that I've drawn up before. It's like they took my boat and made a perfect copy of it. I like the round bait tank. It looks like that they've got it where you can sit one of the Fray Bill round tanks down into the little compartment that they've mounted, and it's right in front of the driver's console. But I would want my round bait tank built in right in front of the driver's console, so I wouldn't be walking around on it when I'm up throwing my net and everything. Um, the most important part would be my front anchor compartment. I would want a lot of room, so when I'm pulling my anchor in and I'm you know putting my rope off into um, the anchor compartment, I'm able to get the rope off in the compartment very easy. And I'd have to have a rubber bottom in the anchor compartment, and right next to the anchor compartment, on the front deck, have about a 14 by 14 thick rubber mat to lay the anchor on after I get it in the boat. I've found that anchor making a lot of noise, I believe, has ran off a lot of large fish that I've marked before, and actually tried to control drift on. By the time I beat the anchor around the front of the boat and tried to you know get the boat in place and get casted out, I probably ran him out of the county. So, try to keep that anchor, as quiet as possible. Um, and in my rod compartments, I would want them, um, kind of forward, half of the rods going up into the front deck, up under the consoles, with the sides open with no doors where I could get the rods in and out pretty easy. Half of the rods go up inside the compartment long ways, um, so I can get them out very fast. Um, the Sportman 200 is rated at about a 200 max. With that size boat, that should be plenty of motor. It's got a 15-degree hull like I'd want. Um, so that's about the perfect boat for me is the design they have. The live well is only 65 gallons, which I would want a larger live well. I'd want to take that boat and customize it, 100-gallon live well in the back, and the only color that G3 has in their boat is camouflage. You can get like a mossy oak pattern and a real tree pattern or something. They don't offer any kind of, where you can get white or red or anything like that. So, I would, I'd want a boat design like theirs. I've been working with Alumacraft for a long time, and the boat that I've got them where I was wanting them to try to get going was almost exactly like the Sportsman 200. The live well's a little bit different and stuff, but they haven't had time to do anything with no catfish boat yet. Um, the rest of the stuff is I carry on. My tackle box, whatever. But um, I'd have to have the enclosure. I really don't like bimini tops because of the side rails really get in the way a lot. Um, I wouldn't want a real big enclosure, just enough to cover the driver's seat and the passenger seat with a back in it. and high enough where you could stand up in. And I wouldn't want one that protruded on way back in the back or anything.
I've never fished in a boat with a full enclosure on it.
Yeah, it's a lifesaver. I've got to get something that to keep me out of the wind on these 30-degree days. It's very, very miserable for Leanne to get out there all day. And being in that center console, there's nowhere to hide. You just huddle around a little buddy heater and try to keep your limbs a little bit warm. But that's about all the comfort you got.
Well, them full enclosures, mine is really tall, and my boat will go about 1 to 2 mile an hour slower with it up than it does with it down. It doesn't, the wind doesn't affect it. When you put the sides on it, you're not getting hit by water spray. You're not getting hit by Asian carp jumping up. It just eliminates all that stuff. And in the wintertime, if the sun is shining, you don't even need a heater. All that plastic will heat up, and you're as warm inside as you can stand it. Most of the time, we're unzipping some of it to let some of the heat out, just because it gets so hot in there when the sun's shining. So, but yeah, that's something that I feel like it's a necessity anymore. If you're in a storm situation, it may not keep you 100% dry, but it's going to keep you a lot more dry than if you didn't have it on there. There's just a lot of advantages to it.
Yeah, you was talking about the comfort of the seats and all. Uh, that's very important for me. Me and Leanne both had very bad backs, and we've been out fishing using this cooler seat in the center console. It will kill your back. There's no comfort at all. Yeah, you got a little cushion to sit on and stuff, but when you're out fishing for flatheads all night and you're trying to get comfortable, it's really no fun. Tossing and turning and on that cooler seat trying to get comfortable. So we didn't have no live well room anyway, so we put that aluminum toolbox in. I got tired of having that bait tank up on the front deck, which was very dangerous and all. So we put the aluminum toolbox in where the flip flop cooler seat was, and I got two Temperance high back seats with arms. They are very nice aftermarket seats. They're very comfortable. Um, they're very wide. They're a little bit too big for my boat, and hard to get around them. But if they were in a little bit larger boat, they would be the perfect seats.
Yeah, myself personally, you can ask Daniel one of the funny stories. I mean, anybody who's fished with me, they'll tell you, I can be in the boat. I don't care if the waves are 4 foot, and I mean, that's just like rocking me to sleep, like Mama's in there. I mean, I'll be sitting there, and in 2 seconds flat, you'll hear me snoring. And if you don't watch yourself, you can ask my partner this year. I will sometimes just straight pass out and hit you and fall over on top of you. Because I'll go to sleep in a heartbeat on the boat. I mean, if I'm tired and I'm just sitting there, and it don't matter if I'm comfortable or not comfortable, but my seats aren't very comfortable, and I have been looking to get some of them comfortable seats, man. But yeah, I'll be asleep in 2 seconds flat, and it's crazy. I did this year. I basically just face planted my partner's knee. I mean, I just went straight over on him. He was almost asleep himself. I scared the crap out of him. But hey guys, everybody that's in chat, we're gonna start going through some of these. We're gonna start looking at. I'm gonna basically put on you'll see my computer view, and I'll show, and we'll go through some of the different companies and models of boats that they have. I'll try to go through them pretty quickly, and I'll give you some rough numbers that I've got for prices and things like that. But while I'm doing that, if you guys want to post up chat, in the chat, what you want to see in a catfishing boat, or what you like, or whatever, just go ahead and comment on it, and I'll probably break out of what I'm talking about and and talk about what you're saying a little bit in that as well. So if you guys don't have anything else, I'll get started in this.
Go for it.
All right, let's see. I think I want to do this one. Let's see. Yep, there we go. All right. Now everybody should see that right now I'm on the Sea Arc boat website. Of course, everybody knows Sea Arc. Sea Arc has basically 3 models that they would consider catfish specific targeted boats. They have a VCat 200, they have a ProCat 200, and a ProCat 240. Again, when I mention prices, when I say prices that I'm giving you on here, don't take these prices to be firm on anything. That they're basically just random prices that I found. I did call around, try to get some prices and everything, but you know, and they might be, some of them might be with 115 motors or 200 motors, and I don't have all that information. But a VCat rough price I put on here is 28,000. The VCat standard features, looking at it here, has a 60-gallon live well, 30-gallon fuel tank, 4 seat, 4 cleats. Let's see, get down here, get to the important stuff basically. 15-degree all welded hull, 125 or 0.125 gauge tread plate floor. Fiberglass or center console, side or center console, you can get that in. Mostly everything there. 9.5 gallon aerated live well for the side console, and the center console is a 12-gallon aerated live well as well, going along with that 60-gallon live well, I guess. Going back, looking at the ProCat 200. They do have River Cat series, but those I wouldn't consider those. I think the Catfish series. The ProCat 200, and I'm guessing these are 2014, 2015 specs. 80-gallon live well, 15-degree all welded hull, the .125 gauge tread plate floor. Pull up the Big Easy model. I will as soon as we get done here. I'll pull up the Big Easy model.
Is the big model considered a catfishing boat? It's just like an all-round boat, isn't it?
Yeah, it's more of an all-round boat. I'm not sure how big the live well is in that. We'll pull it up and look. Self-draining bow deck with a 25-gallon live well. Storage netting, bow storage box, courtesy light, walk-through windshield. 30-gallon fuel tank, auto bilge pump, 3 battery trays, covered battery storage area. Now we'll look up this 240. 240 standard features. 15-degree all welded hull, 1.125 gauge tread plate floor, self-draining bow deck with a 25-gallon live well. Designated area for individualized bait tanks complete with tie-down eyes. 80-gallon live well, walk-through windshield. 50-gallon fuel tank. So that's one of the things you're going to see it jump up from the 30 to the 50-gallon fuel tank. 3 battery trays again. Mostly everything else is self-explanatory there, but you're going to get the extra couple of feet bigger fuel tank in that ProCat 240 over the 200. Going back, you want to look at this Big Daddy model. Let's see here. The Big Daddy, we'll do the side console. Look at that one. Standard features of the side console Big Daddy is 15-degree all welded hull, 125 gauge tread plate floor. splash well, windshield, 60-gallon live well, 50-gallon fuel tank. So the live well, a little bit smaller. Fuel tank's huge again. Again, this is I think the Big Daddy, there's a 24 foot is what those are, and then if I'm not mistaken, they're 24 foot. 12-gallon aerated live well, or well, 9.5 gallon on a side console. Pretty much everything else again, standard on most boats. So that's what you're looking at with Sea Arc boats. The Big Daddy, I don't have a price on Big Daddies and stuff, but that's what I got. Let me look on the chat here. Anybody? See, Vince says must have an E-Tech, Evinrude E-Tech G2 on it, on his boat. Seth likes that Crestliner Intruder 2200. All right, already pulled up the Big Daddy model. Now, the next boats that I looked up was Express. Express has 3 models. They have the X24, the Explorer, and the XP220. As you can see right here, it shows the X24, which is a 24-foot boat, 80-inch, 102-inch beam, 80-inch bottom, top, 23-inch sides, transom height 22 inches, fuel tank capacity 30 gallons, 0.125 aluminum gauge, max horsepower 250, overall package length with a trailer 30 foot, 30 and a half foot. This is their top of the line on the Express series, the X24, and you're looking with a 200 horsepower. I don't know what motor it is, but a VF 200 LA. It's 47,000 is what you're looking at on the Express X24. Now the Explorer series they have 2 models on the Explorer series. They got it looks like a 18 and a half foot, and 18 foot and a 20 foot. 20 foot being 22,000 with a 115, and 18 foot 21,000 with a 90 on it. The difference in the two, the Express series, it has an 18-gallon fuel tank. Did the other one not show the live well size? Or did I not say it? It didn't, did it? Let's see, the X24. Yeah, it doesn't show the live well size in that, which that's a... I can see if I can find it here real quick for everybody. Standard features. Large front deck. That's not very that's not very helpful. It just says large front deck Catfish live well. But anyway, you guys could call them and figure this out if you wanted to. Don't worry, Chad. I'm gonna get there. Anyway, the Express 200 and the Express 185, basically 22,000 with a 115 and a 90. The XP 220, the Express 220, you're looking at almost 25,000, basically 24.5. You jump up to that 30-gallon fuel tank, 22 foot, got a 95-inch beam, 24-inch transom height, 27 foot overall package length, and again 24.5 is, and this price here, whatever you're seeing right here, a lot of times, you go to dealers and things, and you might find it for less, or last year's model. So again, don't take the prices to be set in stone or anything like that. They're just what's here or what I found. So um, Express, I've seen a lot of people with those boats around Kentucky, Indiana. Look like a pretty good boat as well, as well as the Sea Arc as well. Um, the next boat we're going to talk about is the Crestliner Intruder, the 2200 Crestliner Intruder 2200 Catfish Edition. Um, you can see here it has a 100-gallon aerated live well, 64-inch dual pump stern live well, accommodates trophy catches, fiberglass console, anchor locker, interior coating, non-slip interior coating, not carpet, easily washable. The all welded aluminum hull. Of course, this is the first deep V. The other two boats were John style boats. The Crestliner is a deep V style boat. And let's see if I can. I don't know if there's another thing that shows more. No. Oh yeah, they have the popular options for it is the washdown system, the bow bait well. Um, you can get it in different console configurations, vertical rod holders. The Catfish Edition package, I believe, is the bait well with the washdown system, um, bimini top. Looks like it is a 22.3 foot overall length with trailer, 28 foot. Looking at a 96-inch beam, transom height of 22 inches. Max person weight capacity is 8 people. Max horsepower for that boat is a 250. Fuel capacity, they got a 41-gallon tank in them, and it looks like .125 gauge bottom, .100 gauge sides, and .125 gauge transom, all aluminum. So there you have it. There's lots of different color packages for the Crestliner Intruder. You can look it all up on the Crestliner.com website. I believe I priced one of these out, and again, don't quote me on anything. Completely loaded with a 250 Optimax, 112 Tarova iPilot, 11.99 on the bow, 8.90 or 11.99 on the driver console, 8.99 on the bow. Everything like that, 46.5, and that's, again, don't take anything to heart on prices, but that's just giving you a general area. 46,000, completely decked out with just about everything in the world. That's with iPilot Tarova 112. Now, the G3 2015 Sportsman 200 is the next boat we got up here. Now, this boat is 19 foot, almost 20 foot. Package length, trailer and everything, about 25.5 foot. Package width, 101 inches. Beam, 95 inches. Transom height, 25 inches. Max horsepower, 200 pounds. Number of people allows 8 people. 29-gallon fuel cell in it. Live well dimensions are 16 by 62 inches, equates to about a 65-gallon live well. Now, this is not a catfish specific boat. It's their closest they have that would be usable for catfish. Looks like a pretty nice boat.
They call it their big game boat.
Yep, it says built for challenge of finding and landing huge fish. Again, .125 gauge hull, 15-degree dead rise. Price on that, I think I found it with a 150 for about 33,000. So That gives you a general idea on that one. The next one we have is an Aquaka OQB Cat 2072. If I remember right, I've looked up these a little bit. They're also, before I get going, let's see, Brad Dirk says, something to think about is Crestliner put that big boat out and shook up the catfish world with it. Now Lund sponsors a big tourney circuit. Something just doesn't add up with that. Also
Well,
owned
Lund's
by
coming
Brunswick.
out with a catfish boat. You know, they're working on building their own catfish model, and there's no doubt in my mind the quality of boat they put out when it comes out, it'll be awesome. As so many of them are. But you know, that's in the works, and it's not on the market yet, but it is coming.
Yeah. Um, let's see. Brown Catfishing says a 24-foot boat holds 12 people, and with the 225 mark on the back, it tops out around 54 mile per hour. Has a 60-gallon live well squared, 9.5-gallon bait well cooler, plus a ton of storage. Converted the bench seat storage into rod lockers, and it has removable chairs that go to 6 different spots on the boat, plus the 50-gallon fuel cell. And currently working on a full enclosure, and I believe he's talking about the Big Daddy CR.
Yeah, yeah. To me, if most of the fishing we do is tournament fishing, and I'm telling you right now, 2 people in a boat in a tournament, 3 maximums, all so all that other would be, you know. And I know a lot of people want to take their family members and stuff out just on boat rides, but when I go into that boat, we're after catfish, and mine's all business.
All right, so back to this Aquaca boat. Um, I don't see on here exactly, but I want to say that the Aquacas are built with a thicker gauge aluminum than most of these other boats.
They are
Um,
very, very heavy.
yeah, I want to say they are like if you need a boat you ain't worried about hitting some branches and rocks and stuff like that. This is probably the boat for you. Um, the OQB Cat 2072 has it's a length of 20 foot, beam of 96 inches, side height of 24 inches, 27-gallon fuel cell in them. They're out of Illinois. Um, I believe it is like a John style boat. Now it's kind of a yeah, more of a John than it is a deep V. Um, I don't know the exact um, plate, you know, the thickness of the aluminum or whatever, but like we said, I believe it's a lot thicker.
They are.
They don't have a lot of specs on here. It does say it has a 10 gang fuse panel, rocker switch with circuit breakers, removable instrument panel, um, 12 volt accessories, tinted windshield, 100-gallon live well, 800 gallon per hour supply pump with dash mounted switch, 500 gallon per hour recirculation pump with dash mounted timer, aerator spray nozzles, plus many more options that you can get. Um, let's see. Yeah,
I've actually been to Aquaca's factory where they build them, and them are some outstanding people that make those boats. They make a really nice boat, and they'll make it any way you want it. They have some general lines of stuff like you're reading about there, but if you can come up with an idea, they'll make it happen. I mean, that's what they do.
What degree hull is on those, Chris? Does it say?
I couldn't find that. It looks to me. Let's see. I mean, I'll look at the. Let's see. This picture here is well. That didn't do anything. I don't know. It almost looks like it'd be like the 15-degree hole, but I couldn't tell you for sure.
That's what they used to be.
So like I said, it's more along the lines of the John style boat. It's just a built like a tank. The best
Yeah,
I've heard.
it looks like something the Navy SEALs would use to do attack missions on. I mean, it's really nice, heavy duty boat. You know, what's his name? Catfish Flowers has one. The guy down in Florida. I think he bought it from somebody who actually won it at one of the tournaments and got a really good deal on it. But he seems to love that boat.
Yeah, I talked to um, Tim Roth out of Quiller's Outboard, which I'll put them up here in a minute. But Tim Roth out of Quiller's Outboard quoted me the OQB Cat 2072, pretty much as it is here, with a 150 horsepower four-stroke Suzuki for 28,000. So it's a pretty reasonably priced boat.
Hmm.
Um, Jim and Bill Newingham won one of those catfish boats by Quokka in the Cabela's deal a couple years ago up in Iowa, and they still fish out of it today, and they really like it. It is heavy. They do pull it with a half-ton pickup, however, so it's not terribly bad to pull, but it's a battleship now. It really is.
Yeah. All right, going on. Excel boats. Excel has basically two models of their Catfish Pro series. They've got a 21 foot and a 24 foot. Also, Tim Roth from that Quiller's Outboard sells both that Aquaca and these Excel Catfish Pro boats. So he could hook you up with either one that you were looking at, and he gave me some prices on the Catfish Pro series. Um, Basically, priced both of them for me with 115 horsepower four stroke on them. The 21 foot he quoted me at 23,000, and the 24 foot at 25,000. So not a huge jump in difference of price. Um, but what you're looking at for the Catfish Pro Series Excel, if you can look at some of the pictures I'm showing you right here, um, you'll see it has a length of 24 foot 3 on the 24 foot edition. On the 24 foot edition, the 21 I'm sure is just 21 foot. Bottom 72 inches, beam 106 inches, so it's pretty wide. 15-degree dead rise, 30-gallon fuel cell in it, 60-gallon live well, max horsepower 175. I believe this is for the 24 foot. I'm guessing the 21 foot might be a little different, might be a 150. Um, Capacity 8 people or 1,150 pounds. It is again the 1.25 or 0.125 gauge aluminum. Approximate weight 1,800 pounds. Chad Wall, of course, drove one around. If you've seen him in any of the tournaments, you've seen him. Well, earlier in the year, I think right before Monsters, he ended up selling this boat. But um, some of the some of what he could tell you about it, it does have 800 gallon per hour bilge, 30 gallon, like I said, 30 gallon fuel cell in it. Says 30 cubic feet of watertight storage. You can get it in the different paint schemes. Okay, he said that Chad Wall said that the max rating was changed to 225 horsepower is the max horsepower on that boat. So that seems a little more in line for as big of a boat as it is. Um, but I know that I think Chad, you got a 115 on yours, didn't you? And that thing, it might have been a 115. I can't recall, but I remember I was doing 44 or so, and I think he was passing me with it. So it's not bad. It's light and it gets up on plane, and um, it says it also has a 12-gallon live well, sealed switch panel, speedometer, tack, and fuel gauges, a tinted windshield that's removable. Yeah, 2 or 3 bank charger, um, jack plate, just about any sort of motor you want to put on it, you can put on it. But like I said, well, let me look. I'll show you guys some of the pictures here. You can see uh, pictures of some of the storage, the seats and the console. Down here you got a guy that's laying full length in the live well. It's got an exclusive center grate design. You can see that center grate running through the
24.
middle there. What's that?
You said he priced you the 24 for 25,000. What size motor was on that when he priced you that?
It's a 115 on both the 21 and the 24.
That he priced you that price? That ain't bad.
Yep. And like I said, though, any of the prices that I'm saying on to you on here, just take it with a grain of salt. Um,
Quiller's is a very reputable place to buy boats.
yeah, Quiller's Outboard. He seemed like a great guy. I mean, he gave me all the information. I told him what I was doing and everything. I told him I was going to mention his website. This is his website, quillersoutboard.com.
Yeah, they're not
They're
far
they're
from
in
me.
Illinois. They're out of Illinois, so you can see they sell Polar Craft, Quokka, All Weld. Um, Excel, which is not on here, but they sell the Excel boats. There's one right there. Um, Unless that's their sticker there. I don't know what that is. Polarcraft. Okay, so they got two for Polarcraft. But anyway, yeah, you get the idea. Check them out. Definitely get a hold of him if you want to get one of these boats, or you want to check up on the prices that I'm giving you for an Excel or an Aquaca boat. He'll hook you up, I'm sure. And ask for Tim Roth. He's who I talk to. Now this is the low 2015 Catfish rig, the 20 foot. I actually called the guy that this Angler's Port Marine. I talked to him a little bit. He didn't want to give me any specific details on price or um, the options, I guess, that are in the boat, because he said that there's still kind of could be things changing with it. I guess he had a lot to do with the design of it too. Um, but if you're looking at the low, it does have a big old wing on the back, which is the rod rack. Looking at some of the pictures and everything, it looks like it doesn't have carpet either. It's got uh, a textured finish to it. Go through some of the pictures here. It doesn't look like it's going to be as big as some of these other boats, but that might be a good draw for some people that don't want as big of a boat. But I don't know if they're going to have a couple different sizes as well. So this could be just one of the sizes that they have. So I'm just going through the pictures here and letting you guys see what I see. But this is again, this is a low. They're going to be their new um, Catfish series boat. There's a picture of that rod rack there. Hopefully it comes with something better than them plastic rod holders.
What size live well was it? Did he say? Is it in the front also?
Looking at the picture that I just seen, it didn't look huge. I mean, it looked like it might have been in this back here, or it could have been in the front.
I think it was in the front, and that right there is a little bit scary on killing fish. I bounced them to death up front.
Yeah, if that right there does look like it's up front. But I don't know if maybe that's just one of the live wells, because, like I said, the picture and everything else is hard to tell. I don't want to say any specifics on it, or maybe that's in the front. Maybe that other picture was back here. It's hard to really tell with these pictures. So that looks like, well, there's the circular bait well thing for that. But both, the low, that's, they're coming out with that in 2015. Lund, we believe, is working on a Catfish boat. I don't have any details on that as well. But what we're starting to see is you're starting to see a lot of these companies. Let me go ahead and take you guys back out of my screen share. But yeah, what you're starting to see is a lot of these companies that are coming in and they're jumping into the catfish market. They're looking at the guys that are catfishing now. It's not the stereotype of what it used to be. Guys that going out in a $100 John boat and just throwing a line out and drinking a beer. That's not what we are necessarily anymore. Not that there's anything wrong with it. There's still plenty of people doing that as well, but there's guys out there that are spending $5,000 on a fish finder and $5,000 on trolling motors and $48,000, $50,000 on boats. I mean, it's being done right now. These companies, these manufacturers would not be building these boats if they weren't selling them, and they wouldn't continue to be building them for year after year. So
there is another option, and if any of you have followed Brent Riddle's post on Facebook, Precision Jet Boats out of Jeff City, Potosi. I think they've got places in both where they build these, and they built Andrew Little a boat. And I've said this before on the show, and I can't wait to see Brent's because I know it's going to be totally awesome because Brent knows what he wants in a boat. He also knows, what it needs to be in a boat to make it work for him. But to this point, I've been in, I think, nearly every boat that's made for or not for catfishing at one time or another. And Andrew Little has one of these, and they are the most awesome, most comfortable, best riding boats I have ever set in by any manufacturer. Now, this company makes a lot of boats for search and rescue places. They make a lot of boats for the Coast Guard, for conservation departments in Missouri and other states. They make they're like a Quokka. They make a tank. It's a great boat. It's very safe. And I know when Brent's gets done, it's going to be totally awesome. It's Precision Jet Boats. These things are the one of Andrew's has got so much room in it that it's just unbelievable. And it was made for catfishing. I mean, you can have them made for anything you want, pretty much, if you're having one made. But from what I understand, and I don't have an exact figure now, but from what I understand, from some of the prices you was talking about a while ago, you can get a boat made for that and have it exactly like you want it. So that's an option that people need to take into consideration. If you can go to these guys and say, this is exactly what I want you to build me, and they build it, and it's cheaper than you can buy an over-the-counter produced boat, or reasonably close to the same amount, why wouldn't you just have something like that done? And I'm not putting any of these manufacturers down, don't misunderstand me, but I don't really, there's none of them that makes exactly what everybody wants because everybody wants something different. I mean, you can't please everybody.
No.
So that's another option. Like I say, I've seen some of these pictures of Brent's boat, and I've talked to Brent about how he's getting it built a few times, and I know that I've known Brent for a while, and I know that he knows what he's looking for in a boat. He knows what needs to be in there, what has to be in there, and he also knows what it's going to take to make him happy. And I really feel like that's probably why he went this way. He was a Sea Ark owner for a lot of years, and I never heard him really complain about his Sea Ark. I'm sure if he hadn't liked it, he wouldn't have had it for as long as he did. But when he sold that, he bought something different, and it's working out for him now. But in the meantime, he had to have something to fish while he's having this boat built, and he spent a lot of time figuring up exactly what it's going to take to make him happy. And like I say, from what I understand from a couple of guys that's had boats built down there, they're in the ballpark. You just can't go up and buy one. You got, it takes a while to get it done, but they're very competitive on price, and you get it like you want it.
Yeah, I've been watching a little bit on Brent's build as well, and that definitely intriguing. It's intriguing. It's really neat watching him build it and everything. He's showing, basically the process as he goes along in a rough form and everything. So it's kind of cool to watch it be built.
That's correct.
And it is like you said. There's people that like the John style boats, people that like the deep V's, and some people want a full windshield, some people don't. There's a lot of variations to what catfish guys are going to want in a tournament catfish boat. So, it's really nice to see the fact that all these companies and stuff are coming into the catfish market right now, because of the fact that people have such different varied tastes in what they're doing and everything, and their tastes might even change. They might like one style for a few years and then realize that another style's going to work better for what they've evolved into doing.
And these manufacturers are all coming out with great boats, and they're all different than the other companies have got. That's what makes it so good. Sea Ark has been the stable for years, and there's guys out there that that I'm telling you, they're not ever going to own anything but a Sea Arc. They love them. They feel what they're looking for, and those guys are going to buy Sea Arc every time they go buy one. And there's other guys that are G3 fans. You know, they feel safe and comfortable in them, and this new catfishing boat's going to suit them to a T. I'm really kind of curious to see what this Lund boat's going to be. I really think that it's going to be outstanding. In the meantime, I looked at Ray Stitcher's Intruder when we was down in Owensboro, and that is a very nice boat. It's got some things in it that I really was high on. I thought was really nice. You and I and Chuck visited about the Lumacraft thing coming into the sport, and Lumacraft makes an outstanding boat. They really do, and I feel like they have got a shot at this if they go ahead with it and being in the competitive range of this. And another boat that people forget about on the lower end, and those Excel boats, I thought the way you priced them was very competitive. Is the Tracker Targa, one of the most overlooked boats on the market. I know a lot of guys that have went to those, and they're not catfish specific, but you can take that and put a rod rack or rod holders in it. They take out the two back seats. You got a lot of room. The downfall to those is the live well is not big enough, but I know that Brent took his and he pulled out the small live wells and it made a big live well in it, and I don't know exactly how big it is, but it's pretty good size. And you can do these things if that's the way you want to go, and you can save a few dollars. And that Targa is a really nice boat for the money. It just is.
Yeah, Vince asked if Ranger had aluminum again. I do believe I've seen a new Ranger aluminum boat.
Yes.
I don't believe it was anything with a giant live well or anything like that, but it was a pretty sweet looking aluminum boat.
Yeah, again, it's the John boat style boat, I believe, unless they've come up with something that I'm not aware of.
I was thinking it was more of a bass boat, the same sort of design, but it was sort of like the Tundra maybe in a single formed aluminum sheet. I'm not sure though. I could be wrong.
I haven't seen that, but that's very possible. But Rangers, they make a lot of boats. They make ocean boats. They make a lot of stuff that people don't realize. And then again, you get these guys out east, they're using these skiffs and stuff, and that's something that we haven't even talked about. And one reason that a lot of people forget about those is because a lot of those are made out of fiberglass, and people try to stay away from that on account of river situations. But some of these skiffs that they're using out east are just awesome boats. I mean, they pull them babies in there from the Potomac River monster guys come in with those things down in Owensboro, and I mean they're pretty nice boats.
Yeah, so I mean, there's lots of things that we didn't list that it can make a great catfish boat. I mean, there's so many to go over that I'm sure we're going to be around for a long time. We'll do it, but I know that the old Starcrafts and like sea nymphs and stuff, the 18 to 22 foot old deep V's, what's that? Yeah, like Cherokee, any of those boats, you can find them on Craigslist cheap, and they have tons of room, so it's easier for you to put a nice big live well in them. They're just made so good that you're not going to have problems with them most likely. Most everyone I've seen has been in good shape and not had any problems with them at all. They're you just pretty much got to update motors on them and things like that. And
motors and steering is about the only things that ever goes wrong with them.
Yeah.
But a steering cable goes bad on everything. I mean, sooner or later you're going to have to put steering cables on nearly anything that you got. It's just the way it is.
But yeah, there's lots of guys that are getting those, and I mean, there's even guys that take just the regular fiberglass bass boats. I mean, I believe Steve Douglas fishes out of a fiberglass bass boat and then just throws the 100-gallon trawl in there and does it that way. There's lots of ways you can do it. It's whatever way you're comfortable with. There's this show's really just highlighting the companies that have actually targeted and made that catfish specific boat, which is what we're liking to see, and we wanted to give all these companies a shout out and let other companies know that we think that the uh, the consumer base is there for you to do it. Jump in there and start doing the research and getting your Catfish series boats out there, and I think they're going to sell. So.
Well, the good ones are going to make it, and the ones that are poor quality, it doesn't matter if it's a catfishing boat or a bass boat or a crappie boat. It doesn't matter if the quality's not there, they won't succeed. And if the quality's there, people will give a couple extra bucks for a good boat, just like they will a good motor or a good anything else. So, if you come up with an idea that people like, they're going to buy them. That's just the way it is.
What do y'all think about these 20-foot boats with these big 225 and 250 tiller handles in them? Could y'all function with one of those? They got plenty of room, but I just don't think I could maneuver one and
Well,
drive
personally, I
long
think
distance.
they're dangerous. That big a motor with a tiller handle, I think, is dangerous, and I think there ought to be a limit, maybe a 125 or a 150 limit. I know that they've got the fast steering and all the goop on them, but I'm telling you right now, there's no way the average guy that hadn't been running one of them all of his life can steer that in a bad situation where if he gets in trouble like he can one of the steering wheel. And I think they ought to limit the horsepower on those and not let them put them big motors with tiller steering.
Yeah, they have lots of room. I mean, just imagine you don't have any type of console in the whole boat, so your whole
That's right.
boat's wide open.
Yep.
But that's about the only advantage to me. I couldn't imagine, especially when the front end comes up and you're in the back of the boat. It's hard to see logs floating down the river.
You
'Cause
know that.
no, I mean, a lot of them big logs, man, they float 3 inches underwater, and you don't see them until you're
Yeah.
on top of them.
I think they're dangerous.
Yeah, I don't see myself being able to comfortably, run around water and fish with a big tiller like that.
Yeah, I've never used a tiller boat. The first different style boat that I've got in any way has been this boat that I have now, this Fisher Avenger. And the only thing different about it is it has the hot foot. Um, some people love and swear by the hot foot. Myself personally, I don't care for it all that much. First time out in that boat, I tried to push it up onto the deck to grab my wife, and I about ran the whole boat up on the on the deck. It was definitely, it took some getting used to, and unfortunately my hot foot, I think most hot foots are supposed to be where you push them and there's a spring that pulls it back. Well, mine doesn't do that. Mine has like a little lip on the top part of your foot where you got to pull it back with your foot. So I mean, it does have some sort of spring to it. It'll come back to a certain point, but I mean, it's still between the point where it stops pushing back and where it needs to go is still quite a bit of acceleration. So
Well, the brown catfishing says he thinks it'd be hard to dodge stuff going down the river. I assume he's talking about the tiller handle, and I would agree with that. When you're talking about a 20 or 24-foot boat with tiller, you know, I've run tiller boats before, and they do not steer as quick as one with a wheel in them. They just don't.
you see
Uh,
a lot of them gator shows and stuff where they're using them tillers. They actually have a pole because they stand up and they hold on to that pole with one hand, and then they drive the boat with the other hand.
Uh-huh.
did y'all see that boat at Monsters, Ohio? That the one that said Kentucky Blue Cats down the side of it. It was a 24-foot Sea Arc, and he customized it and put different windshield and all that in it.
I
I
don't know
don't.
if I've seen it or not.
I talked to him. Sea Arc. He customized it. He said he was trying to get one built like that from Sea Arc for a long time, and they wouldn't do anything, so he built his own. It's set up very nice. It looks like like a perfect guide boat. But Sea Arc won't let him use it in any Sea Arc tournaments because all the modifications he's done. He says that they wouldn't accept it. But
I don't know how they could do that. If it was licensed and titled as a Sea Arc, it's a Sea Arc Invitational. That sounds kind of like a bad situation there to me.
He said something about the way that he had to do the back, that he had to do something where the serial number was welded on
Oh,
and relocate it. But he's got the motor setting off of the back pretty good, and it was a good looking little boat.
Hmm. Well, before we close out and everything again, I do want to go through again and list off everybody right now who's entered in the Gone Fishing Adventures contest with Gary Turner to be in that full day guided trip contest. Right now we have 26 people, and if I do not say your name, then that means you are not entered in this contest and you need to do so. So again, I'm going to run down this list real quick. Leon Higdon, Mike Kafer, Heath Malone, Seth McAllister, Dennis Mayo, John Harden, Janet Fox, Teresa and Dave, Kevin Owens, Chad Wall, Steve Einbody, Vince Nadowski, Nick Goodall, Major Brown, Jason Malone, Ricky Allen, Larry King Jr., Cheryl Lynn Butler, Matthew Ryan Evans, Bill Wright, Joshua DeBoard, Jason Fish, Chris Workman, Michael Johnson, Bobberstop LLC, and Christopher Parker. So if your name is not listed on that and you want to be entered in that contest to win a full day guided trip with Gary Turner and Gone Fishing Adventures, what you need to do is go to the Gone Fishing Adventures Facebook page. Just type up there in the search Gone Fishing Adventures. It should pop it up. Look for the post with Gary Turner holding a big fish and Catfish Weekly picture on it, and you should find it. Just scroll down through, um, and when you do, like that picture, like his page, of course, like the page, Gone Fishing Adventures page. Like that picture, then post a comment underneath that picture. You'll see all the other comments, and just where it mentions Catfish Weekly, anything in your comment, you can say, I love catfishing, and Catfish Weekly's awesome, whatever. Or Bud with Catfish Weekly, he likes to throw poles in the river. Whatever you want. You can say, stay out of my spot, Catfish Weekly. Anything you want, just mention Catfish Weekly, and you are entered into that contest. And now, if you are a super fan, you get double entries for a year. When you purchase your super fan package, you get 2 entries into every contest that you enter by following all the rules. If you do it and you follow all the rules and you enter a contest, instead of just 1 entry, you get 2. Also, for that $10 super fan package, you get a discount for Whiskerware Apparel. You get a discount for um, uh, um, Black Horse Custom Rods. You get a special access to a Facebook forum or a Facebook group with Catfish Weekly. You get a special avatar thing on the forum page. Really, there's a ton. You can go to the forums and look it up in the news section, and it should show you what all you get with it. But it's really, really cheap for what you get. I mean, it's really awesome. It helps us out paying server fees, all that kind of stuff. Um, Also, like we talked about at the beginning of the show, we got some big things in the works that we've been putting together, and we're still going to put together, and we're going to hype the crap out of it. So you guys should be on the lookout. You know, when we announce it and everything, you guys are going to be pretty shocked. I think, pretty happy to be hearing what we're talking about. You're going to be picking up what we're putting down. That's for sure. But you like that line, didn't
pretty good. Well, you know, we was talking earlier, we've been working on this for a bit, and this is going to be something that if you don't like, I will be extremely disappointed, and I know everybody else will. It's going to be a great promotional thing for a lot of people, and it's going to be good for whoever gets involved with it. So you need to stay tuned. We're not going to tell you about it, but you'll like it. We'll leave it at that for tonight.
Yep. And we will draw the winner at the either the last show of this month or the first show of next month. I'm not sure. We haven't decided that yet. But we'll draw the winner on the show. So get your name in for that contest. Do what I just told you to go over to the Gone Fishing Adventures. Get a Catfish Weekly Super Fan package and double your entries on it. That's a full day guided trip with Gary Turner. That's a $350 value. So
I
I
can
think
imagine a day in a boat with Gary not just being the time he goes. Gary's just such a good old boy, and he catches a lot of quality fish, and there's no way anybody make me believe that he just wouldn't be a hoot to be in the boat with. So get in there and get on that.
Yes, some of them lakes that they fish, I mean, the lake records and stuff are, 35, 40 pounds and stuff. So at any time, a lake record can be caught out of them lakes.
yeah. So
There's a lot of 20s and 30s coming out all the time, but that lake record's just hard to get every now and then.
Cindy said last time Lyle told her to trust him, she got pregnant.
Well, I'm going to leave that alone.
Just the tip, baby.
Yeah.
But anyway, before we go, what do you guys think on the jet motors? Would you want a jet motor on your boat, or would you want a prop
No.
motor?
No, it cuts back too much power.
That's exactly right. You lose 45% of your horsepower, and I'm not interested in that at all.
I don't fish water shallow enough where I'm gonna need
Either.
a jet motor. No, yeah, because you got all that extra weight and you can't go anywhere. So yeah, that'd be out for me.
Yeah, myself too. I like the fact that it's going to get you in some shallower water, but it's just I believe it does it burn more fuel as well.
I understand they do, yeah.
That's what I've heard, that they burn more fuel and you lose a lot of horsepower for the motor. So yeah, I think that I'd stick to a prop too. I do know that they were. I seen a little while back they were testing some either hole design or prop design or something where you were able to get in a lot shallower water, and that looked pretty interesting to me. I mean, they looked like they were getting in like six inches of water and in boats where you didn't think that would be possible.
Yeah, and other than the fact that they suck up some stuff up that jet, but most of you guys carry rakes and stuff with them. Although I've pulled guys in, helped them load up on trailers when they jammed them full, and the rake you couldn't get it out with. But when I used to duck hunt a lot, I thought that that would be something that I'd be interested in, and then I hear all these horror stories, all these leads and crap getting jammed up in there, and they can't get it out, and they're stuck out on the water someplace, and I just am not interested in them at all.
Yeah, you can't get up under there to clean the grid out unless you get in the water, and
Yeah.
in the wintertime you're not going to jump off waist deep and
Oh, come
strong
on,
under
Chuck,
the boat.
get off in that water.
Uh-uh. I'll stick with the old outboard Yamaha.
That's what I'm talking about.
All right, everyone. I think we're pretty good on tonight's episode. We're going on an hour and 20 minutes, so I'll go ahead and let everybody start closing out. Chuck, if you want to get us started. Everybody else in chat right now, thanks for joining us. And if you got an idea for next week's show, toss it in there, and we'll think about what we're going to do on next week's topic. But
I don't have a whole lot, but it's that time of year where I love going out and doing my trophy hunting. There's no tournaments involved. Just go out and relax, concentrate on finding the one. I don't care if I catch a fish all day. I just want to, find that one I'm after. Um, that's going to be my focus for the next few months, and I really enjoy it. It's very peaceful. I can research, and I research just as much if I'm on tournament fish. I try to find those spots. I've researched my navionics, and I go out and search them areas, try to mark them, and precision anchor on them, and I just there's nothing like winter fishing for big blues. I love it.
All
Yeah,
right.
and that's true. This is the time of year, although right now it looks like it's kind of going to shut us down for a week or so. We got a bunch of cold weather moving in, and a big front coming through. It's pretty much going to cover the whole United States. So it'll take just the hardcore guys to be out, and I don't believe that with it going to be down in the teens, I'll be out in it too much for the next week or so. But as soon as it warms back up, and it will warm back up, then we'll be out and we'll be looking at it and going on there, uh, trying to get things lined out. And one thing that I do in the wintertime is we when we go out in the wintertime, of course, we like to catch fish in the wintertime as much as the next person, but you can actually cruise around at slow speeds, and you can look at spots that you normally wouldn't look at and see if they're holding fish and make notes of where you're at and if there's fish there or if they're not there. And uh, a lot of times the water's low, especially on some of the smaller rivers, more low than it is through the summer months, and you can go in there and see what's underneath some of them spots that you've actually been trying to fish, and that's a really good idea. But other than that, we're kind of done with the tournament thing for this year, and like I said, we've got a lot of things we're looking at for next year, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and keep listening in and watching the Facebook stuff for the upcoming event. I'm sure you guys are really going to like it, and uh, the tournament that going on the Alabama Catfish Trails January 3rd. I think this is going to be a pretty nice event. I know that they're still working on some of the details on it and everything, but this looks like a lot of fun, and it may be the first tournament of the year to everybody kind of get out and figure out something. So keep that in mind.
All right. Um, we got Brent Riddle in the chat now. He said the Monster Cat will be an outboard. It's just going to be sold under the Precision Jet Boat name. So that's something. Thanks for joining us, Brent. Probably his ears started burning. He heard us talking about him. So, Rob Klopfelder with Whiskerware says everybody should check out Justin Connor and Tabitha Linville's page, the catfishing duo. They're killing it out on the James right now. So if you want to see some good fish and stuff, go check
They
them
have
out.
laid out some monsters the last couple of days out there. I've been watching their pictures, and they're just absolute giant fish being caught.
Brad says they'll be ice fishing in 10 days. So.
He's just tougher than me, that's all.
Yeah, I was gonna say everybody, for the Catfish Weekly page, I know it's hunting time. I myself, I'm not against anybody posting some pictures of some bucks or whatever that you've taken out there hunting. Just share the pictures on our Facebook page, and even though it's not catfish, I'm sure people will enjoy the content. Um, Try to keep comments and everything clean, and not make it too gory gashy. So if it ain't gonna bother me, but there might be somebody out there that it bothers. But I'm not too worried about it. You can post it up. If somebody complains, we might remove it, but most likely not.
Most
But
likely not. Like a good clean kill of a quality animal is good clean kill of a quality animal. That's just, it's just kind of the way it is.
yep, and I don't know if you go to the Indiana Hunter page, I know that he's made some videos. He showed some videos here recently. Um, One of the recent videos he did, it talked about basically a bad shot on a deer and how the first time in 15 or 16 years that it's happened, and you can just hear the heartache in the people that are true hunters, that when something like that bothers them as much as it did, that's a true hunter. That's somebody that respects the game, the wild game out there, and that's what we need to have more of out there, and that's what we need to pass down to kids, because it might be hunting, but that translates into fishing as well. I mean, that's respecting what you're doing out there, respecting species, and respecting the game. I mean, that's what you hear us preach all the time, and it goes further than fishing. If you can practice it in hunting and everything else you do in your life, I think it makes you a good person, and it keeps that resource available for years to come.
Oh yeah,
That's right. You
that
know,
Philly
go ahead, Chuck.
that feeling you get if you drop a big fish in the boat, or you get a big fish in the boat, and he's gut hooked and his guts are about hanging out of his mouth. I never have ever got feelings like that before, man. And now I'm just like, it just kills me if I drop a fish in the boat. Go to stand up and you can drop one 3 feet, and you're like, oh God, is he gonna be okay? What am I supposed to do? Or you gut hook them, and when you finally get the hook out and you let him go, and you're worried, oh God, I hope he's okay. I hope he lives. And you can hardly fish the rest of the day worried about a darn fish.
Well, that's just part of the game. But while we're on that subject, Chris, and I'm glad you brought that up. You guys that are interested in quality videos of catfishing and other stuff, crappie fishing and deer hunting, check out Indiana Hunter. I mean, those guys work really hard to produce a really good quality video. They're not extremely long. They catch a lot of good fish, catch a lot of channel cats. They've killed some really good deer. They hold it true to the form on what's actually taking place. They don't try to sugarcoat it. They don't go out and catch a bunch of fish like some of the guys do and then stick a hook in their mouth and reel them in just to have it on video. What's happening is happening, and they do a really good job. So if you get a chance, check out their website and look at some of their videos. Heath and Jason are just a couple of quality guys doing the things that they love to do, and it's worth your time to take a look at their stuff.
Yep, and also, that I always say at all the advertising spots on the catfishweekly.com. If you guys have noticed at all, there's a new one, Monsters on the Ohio 2015. Aaron has announced he's taking registration, so if you want to get your spot early for 2015, you need to go ahead and put your registration, send him your money, and get your spot because he's already starting for next year. And also thanks to Aaron and Heath and Lyle and Catfish Magazine and Scott with Indiana or Hoosier Whiskers Trail. Everybody that's buying them advertising spots, thank you very much. We have plenty more to go. If you want to get in on there, just get a hold of me and we'll get you set up. Like you guys said, myself, I'm for the most part done fishing for the year. I don't have any land to hunt, so I won't be hunting, unfortunately. Hopefully, somebody, hopefully somebody will get some deer and get some venison and cook some jerky up and hook me up with some or something, because I'm really missing it. But again, I had a great year this year. I do want to thank all my sponsors for this year and everything you've done for me. I'll probably post up my my end of year recap and everything on Facebook here shortly. But I did finish fifth with Daniel Lux on the ICA trail this year. I don't know how many tournaments I fished, but I do believe it was 25 or so. Which I do a lot of tournaments. I fish a lot of tournaments. That's almost a tournament every weekend in a year. So. I definitely feel like I'm learning a lot. I feel like I'm getting better, which is what, I want to be doing. I'm that kind of person. I want to feel like I'm doing better and getting better, and I'm learning something all the time. I enjoy meeting all the new people I did this year from Catfish Weekly. Everybody that has sent me messages on Facebook or comes up to us at Monsters on the Ohio or wherever. I've even had random people come up to me in PetSmart and recognize me, which is just, it's awesome. It really is. So definitely thanks to everybody. Thanks to Lyle and Chuck. You guys, I think we make an excellent team. I think we're doing a heck of a job with this, and I hope we continue to do it for a long time. So to everybody out there, I guess we'll just decide on a topic for next week and let you guys know sometime through the week or right beforehand. And until next time, everybody, just make sure you stay out of my spot.